Making it in Hollywood is a dream for many, but for foreign actors, it's often an uphill battle. The language barrier, cultural differences, and the industry's preference for familiar faces make it incredibly difficult. Fernanda Torres understood this struggle all too well. As a Brazilian actress, she never imagined she could carve a place for herself in the American film industry. But then came I'm Still Here, a film that not only changed her career, but also redefined her place in global cinema. Directed by Walter Salles, this Portuguese-language drama has earned 3 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture and Best Actress for Torres. With this, she becomes only the 2nd Brazilian actor ever nominated for an Oscar. The year. First, her own mother, Fernanda Montenegro, who was nominated in 1998 for Central Station, also directed by Salles. For Torres, this moment is more than just a professional milestone. It's deeply personal, it's really unbelievable, and it feels like history repeating itself, Torres, now 59, said after her nomination. After the Golden Globes, my mother told me, I knew this would happen. She was certain about the Oscar nod too. But I never thought it was possible, especially in a year with so many great performances. But what makes I'm Still Here so special? And how did a woman who once doubted her Hollywood future find herself at the center of an Oscar-worthy performance? Set in the early 1970s during Brazil's brutal military dictatorship, I'm Still Here tells the true story of Eunice Paiva, a woman whose life was torn apart by political repression. Eunice's husband, Rubens Paiva, was a former congressman and a vocal dissident. One day, he was arrested by the military and never seen again. What followed was a nightmare. Eunice was interrogated, tortured, and pressured to reveal information about her husband's political activities. But even after her release, she refused to give up. She fought to uncover the truth about Rubens, while raising their 5 children alone. Torres spent months studying Eunice's life, watching old interviews and reading about her struggles. She was particularly struck by Eunice's quiet strength. She was raised to be the perfect housewife, graceful, soft-spoken, and feminine, Torres explains. But she was also incredibly intelligent. She didn't fight with violence. She fought with dignity, with civility. That's what makes her story so powerful. This subtle yet powerful resilience became the foundation of Torres's performance. Unlike her past work in comedy and theater, I'm Still Here demanded a new level of restraint. One particularly emotional scene where Eunice takes her children to an ice cream parlor, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy after a devastating setback, left a deep impact on Torres. That was the moment she realized her old life was gone forever, Torres recalls. As we were shooting, I could feel Eunice entering me. It was like she was taking over and I wasn't in control anymore. I've never experienced anything like that before. Torres' journey to this moment has been anything but conventional. Born in Rio de Janeiro, she grew up watching her parents, both accomplished actors, rehearse classic plays at their dinner table. Acting wasn't a conscious decision for her. It was simply the world she knew. However, it wasn't until she won Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival at just 20 years old that she truly understood the power of cinema. At the time, I was stuck in a soap opera, playing a naive girl, and I hated it. She laughs. But winning at Cannes, it was like winning the World Cup. It gave me confidence, it gave me independence, and most importantly, it showed that I wasn't just Fernanda Montenegro's daughter. I had my own identity as an actress. Throughout the 1990s, Torres starred in several acclaimed films, including 4 Days in September and Foreign Land, the latter of which was also directed by Salles. She also explored other creative paths, becoming a successful novelist, producer, and newspaper columnist. According to Salles, this versatility is what makes Torres a rare talent. She can do everything, Salles says. Comedy, drama, screenwriting. She has an incredible emotional intelligence. But what's most impressive is that she makes it look effortless. Still, despite her accomplishments, Torres never saw a future in Hollywood. The language barrier was a major concern, as was the lack of opportunities for foreign actors. Brazil is like a giant island, Torres explains. We have 200 million people, and we consume our own culture so passionately that it felt unnecessary to leave. I always felt that if I went to Hollywood, I would just be another foreigner with an accent. I'd never have the same opportunities there. Ironically, it was only after years of working outside Hollywood that Torres finally found herself in I'm Still Here. An old controversy has resurfaced. Recently, a 2008 clip from a Brazilian sketch show went viral, showing Torres in blackface. In today's socially aware climate, the backlash was immediate. Torres quickly addressed the controversy, acknowledging the insensitivity of her past actions. Brazil back then was a bubble, she explains. Comedy was controlled by white producers, white directors, white writers. It was common to play different characters, old people, Germans, young kids, without considering the deeper implications. But now things have changed, and I've changed too. The conversations around racial justice have helped open my eyes. While some critics have called for her to be held accountable, many fans appreciate her willingness to confront the issue head-on. After a whirlwind awards season, Torres is looking forward to some quiet time with her husband, filmmaker Andrucha, Waddington, and their 4 children. Still, she knows that I'm Still Here has changed her forever. Eunice has taught me so much, she reflects. She's a guide for difficult times. And with this nomination, I have to remind myself it's not just about me, it's about her story. That's what people are connecting with. Fernanda Torres' Oscar nomination isn't just a personal victory, it's a milestone for Brazilian cinema. Historically, Latin American films have struggled to break into Hollywood's biggest awards, often limited to the Best International Feature category. But I'm Still Here defied expectations, securing a nomination for Best Picture, something rarely achieved by non-English films. Walter Salles, the film's director, believes this success is long overdue. Latin America has some of the most compelling stories in the world, but we're often overlooked, Salles says. This nomination proves that our cinema isn't just international cinema, it's cinema, period. For Torres, the moment is bittersweet. While she's grateful for the recognition, she's aware that Brazilian filmmakers continue to face immense challenges. Government funding cuts and political instability have made it harder for independent films to survive. When my mother was nominated for Central Station, we thought it would open doors for Brazilian actors, Torres explains. But not much. Changed. I hope this time will be different. The success of I'm Still Here could mark the beginning of a new wave, proving that Brazilian actors and filmmakers belong on the global stage. A major reason for the film's impact is its powerful storytelling, rooted in real-life history. I'm Still Here explores the brutal realities of Brazil's military dictatorship in the 1970s through the lens of one woman's resilience. Eunice Paiva's story is one of immense suffering, but also quiet strength. Torres dedicated months to preparing for the role. She studied old interviews, read Eunice's writings, and even spoke to people who had known her personally. She wanted to fully understand the woman behind the headlines. Eunice wasn't a political figure by choice, Torres says. She was a housewife, a mother, someone who wanted a normal life. But history forced her to become something greater. One of the most challenging aspects of playing Eunice was capturing her emotional restraint. In the film, there are no dramatic outbursts or exaggerated expressions. Instead, Torres conveys deep grief and determination through subtle facial expressions and body language. A particularly heartbreaking scene takes place when Eunice takes her children out for ice cream after a devastating setback. She forces a faint smile, holding back tears as she looks around at families enjoying a normal day. That's the moment she realizes her life will never be the same, Torres explains. I didn't have to act in that scene, I just felt it. This level of realism is what makes her performance so impactful. Critics have praised Torres for her ability to bring depth to the role without over-dramatizing it. Despite her international recognition, Torres has always remained deeply connected to Brazilian theater. Over the years, she has starred in and directed multiple stage productions, often tackling complex, experimental roles. She credits theater for shaping her approach to acting. On stage, you don't have the luxury of multiple takes, Torres explains. Every mistake is public, and every performance is unique. That kind of pressure teaches you to be fearless. This fearlessness is what made her performance in I'm Still Here so powerful. Unlike traditional biopics, the film avoids melodrama, focusing instead on subtle, restrained moments. Torres relied on body language, silence, and controlled expressions to convey Eunice's inner turmoil. Her dedication to authenticity even extended to her personal life. In preparation for the role, Torres spent months living in isolation, limiting her social interactions to better understand like to have your world ripped away. She says, to wake up every day with no answers, no closure. This level of commitment hasn't gone unnoticed. Critics have praised her performance as one of the finest of the year, comparing it to legendary portrayals like Marion Cotillard in La Vie en Rose and Juliette Binoche in The English Patient. While Torres' Oscar nomination has been met with celebration, she has also faced controversy. An old clip from 2008 recently resurfaced, showing her wearing blackface in a Brazilian comedy show. The backlash was swift, and Torres immediately issued an apology. In the early 2000s, Brazil was a bubble, she explains. If you did sketch comedy, there were only white directors, white scriptwriters, white producers in the mainstream. At the time, no one questioned it. However, in the years that followed, racial justice movements helped bring awareness to the offensive nature of such portrayals. Torres acknowledges that the comedy industry in Brazil was blind to the issue back then, but she has since educated herself and grown as a person. There was a lot of ignorance, but that's not an excuse, she says. The important thing is to listen, learn, and change. I want to be part of that change. The controversy has sparked important conversations about representation in Brazilian media, and Torres hopes that future generations of actors won't have to deal with the same mistakes. With the Academy Awards just weeks away, Torres is preparing for what could be the biggest night of her career. She's already won several Critics' Awards, and many believe she has a real shot at taking home the Oscar for Best Actress. Still, she remains grounded. Awards are wonderful, but they don't define an artist, she says. At the end of the day, I just want to tell stories that matter. No matter the outcome, Torres' journey has already made history. She has proven that age, nationality, and language barriers don't have to limit an actor's success. In a world where Hollywood often favors the familiar, her nomination is a reminder that great performances transcend borders. As she walks the red carpet on Oscar night, alongside her mother who paved the way before her, Torres carries with her the legacy of Brazilian cinema and the resilience of the woman she so powerfully portrayed. Eunice never gave up, Torres reflects. And neither will I. This keeps everything in context while making the part longer and richer. Let me know if you want any final adjustments. Fernanda Torres' journey is more than just an Oscar story. It's a moment of change for Brazilian cinema and a testament to the power of storytelling. But will she make history by bringing home the Academy Award? What do you think about her chances? Do you believe this nomination will open more doors for Latin American actors in Hollywood? Let's continue the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on the latest news from the film industry, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. The Oscars are just around the corner. Let's see if history is made.